always wish they would give me a bigger podium, but they don't seem to make them. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Shari Beck. I am the Nassau Region PTA Director, so I am responsible for all 317 or 18, I lost count, PTAs within Nassau County District. I will be the moderator tonight in case you couldn't figure that out by where I'm standing. With me is Ziola Mitchell-Hall, also from Nassau Region. She will be the timekeeper for tonight. Before we get started, please silence your phone or any other electronic devices that might beep. Other than Ziola, who will be the timekeeper, if she wants to keep her alarm bell on so that we hear when time is up, that's fine. And also, please take note of all the exits. You can tell I'm from PTA because I'm very concerned about everybody's safety. So, I would like to thank the District 13 Interschool Council of PTAs for choosing Nassau Region PTA to conduct their Candidates Forum. We've been doing these for decades. I know people that did them back in the 80s. I can't vouch for before that, but we definitely have been doing them at least that long. Thank you to Jadira Woods, who just stepped out to let somebody else in. She's the PTA Council President here. And thank you to everyone else who was involved in setting up this event. They've done a terrific job, and I hope you all appreciate them. In fact, give her a hand, please, because she is a volunteer. I am a volunteer. Ziola is a volunteer. None of us get paid for any of this, and I hate talking in a microphone. So, our forum, it's been a long day. I'm going to stumble on words. Our format tonight is called the Candidates Forum. It used to more typically be called the Meet the Candidates Night. During these forums, the candidates answer questions asked of them by a moderator, but do not directly engage with each other, so there's no crosstalk between the candidates. This style of debate, because it is technically a style of debate, gives the candidates a chance to state their views and their positions without a cross-examination effect by the other candidates. It allows each candidate, an equal and fair opportunity to express their opinion on issues. Candidates, please direct your answers to the audience, not to me, and definitely not to each other. The questions for the candidates must be written on these index cards. There's some in the back. We put some up here to make it easy. If you think of a question during the event, don't hesitate to write it down, but we will not be calling upon anybody. Please, no comments. No yelling out. You want to applaud politely, that's fine, but we want to try and keep this as neutral as possible. Please write neatly. It goes without saying, I can't ask a question if I can't read it. I will read and sort these cards. Not all questions are guaranteed to be read. It will depend on the time and the number of questions. I will combine questions if they are several similar or redundant questions. So if there are multiple questions about the same issue, I'm not going to read 6 questions. I'm going to make one question that covers all of it. Certain types of questions are not permissible. Anything that you cannot ask in a job interview is not allowed. So we will not be discussing anything personal about any candidate. If you send up a question like that, it's garbage. Questions should also be asked that are targeted to all the candidates to get their opinion. So questions directed only to an individual candidate, like asking what is your opinion with a particular candidate, will be changed to either what's everybody's opinion of an issue or discarded. And this all sounds really formal and stuff, but trust me, it moves faster and it's not as bad as it sounds. There's a couple of procedures just to make sure that everyone is given equal time. Basically, each candidate will have 2 minutes for their opening statement. We will start in the order in which the candidates are seated to my left. Additionally, because these 4 candidates are all running for the same position for one particular seat, there is at least one, and there could be 2 other candidates that are running for other seats. If those candidates are here and want to give an opening statement, I will allow them to give an opening statement at the same time as these people, but then they will go sit down because they are running unopposed. Questions, and I'm gonna repeat some of what I said already. The questions will rotate according to the seating order, which was done randomly, just so you know. Since the first person here is going to get to do their opening statement first, then the first question will go to the second person here, and then we'll go with the next question to the third person. So we will rotate the order of questions. At the end, when we get to the closing statements, we will start from the opposite end of the table and work our way back, regardless of where we are with the questions. Each candidate will be given 1.5 minutes to answer the question. So that's 90 seconds. Be quick. We'll continue doing that until we get through either all the questions or it's around 8:15 or so, maybe a little earlier, depending on how we're doing, because that'll give us time to get through the last question and also have closing statements and still be able to leave here before 9 o'clock. That is our intention. We don't want to keep you here all night. We don't want to be here all night. Okay, in alphabetical order, I'm going to announce all the candidates, even whether they're here or not. So, and if you guys want to just kind of wave when I call your names, and I know there's a gentleman somewhere, you can kind of wave your hand. And pardon me if I screw up anyone's name because it's late. Anthony Benelli, Martin Charles, Patricia Farrell, Desiree Fasulo, Anthony Grosso, and Cecil Matthew. Did I screw up anyone's name? Okay, good, thank you. All right, some advice to the audience. Some of you may have been to many of these, some of you, this may be brand new. As you watch and listen to the forum, keep the following in mind. Think ahead and consider what issues are most important to you. Take some notes if you want. You can always grab an index card, even if it's just for yourself. Think about what you want to learn from each candidate. Ask yourself, are they answering the question? Pay attention to how they answer the question. Are they specific, sincere, knowledgeable? These are the kinds of things you want to be looking for. Keep track of the topics. Are the candidates being asked about your issues? If not, come fill out a card. Are the questions fair and pertinent? I hope to be. Please note, no personal questions again. And then afterwards, I encourage you all, because obviously there's only a small audience here tonight, and I know there are some people probably watching the live stream. Talk to people. Talk with your friends, your family. Did the discussion sway your decision? Did you learn something new about an issue? Did you learn something new or unexpected about the candidates? And then most importantly, on Tuesday, May 19th, vote. It's your best opportunity to make your voice heard and help shape the issues that affect your community. Now, the fun part, on to the questions. At this point, is Anthony Grosso here? If you want to come up, and Anthony is running unopposed, so I will let him speak first and just give his 2-minute opening statement.
Thank you. so I'll be quicker than that. Good evening, everybody. Anthony Grosso, currently the board president. Myself and Trustee Farrell running unopposed, but we did want to just kind of make a statement. We wanted to thank Interschool for setting this all up, how much goes into it, the candidates for coming out and doing this, because it is a lot. I sat there myself 3 years ago to not know what questions you're going to get, and you're looking out to a room, and some of the questions you might not know because you haven't been on the school board yet. So my advice is just answer what you know and share what you have. That's the best I can do. And we're excited about this, because this is a chance for everyone to just share a little bit about yourself, and the board's excited because you become, part of our team, and we have a very cohesive board at the moment, and we're just excited to keep it that way. So good luck to everybody, and thank you all for coming. Oh, was that 3 minutes? I was like, that wasn't 2 minutes.
No, I was afraid that was my phone, but it does not appear to have.
You got my vote.
Okay, I'm like, I did silence it. Okay, first up, please state your name and make your 2-minute statement. You're up.
My name is Anthony Benelli. Microphone. Oh, thank you. My name is Anthony Benelli. I earned a degree in engineering, a master's in finance with a focus on computer science. I have over 30 years in computer industry, 20 years in management. 15 of those years I was an executive manager, an executive team. I served as a school trustee between 2021 and 2024, which translates into a person or a candidate that can hit the ground running. There's no learning curve for me. I'd like to also, I'm sorry about that. I would like to also highlight what my goals are. When I first ran, my goal was to bring kindergarten back to Wheeler after its 19 years of absence. That was achieved in my first year as a school trustee, bringing kindergarten back to Wheeler from Willow. That freed up classroom space at Willow, allowing for pre-K, which has been now offered there for the first time. I would like to bring pre-K to the other 2 school zones, Deaver and Wheeler. It's not fair that the parents have to drive their children to attend pre-K at Howell. We pay the same taxes as the other school districts. I also want to have our school reverse course with the Chromebooks educating our children. The teachers are our best guides. There have been studies from Finland, and there's a book called The Digital Delusion, which emphasizes that these computers replacing teachers in class time is detrimental, especially for elementary children. So Dr. LaRocca and the curriculum superintendent need to reverse course and go back to teachers teaching the classroom and move away from the laptops. It's no substitution from teachers. And it's most hazardous to our children in elementary school. Finally, I want to pursue the busing, my busing proposal as well. Is my time up? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. See, only you gotta hold up the signs so that they know.
That's what I was looking for.
I did like this.
But I'm...
Okay, thank you. Okay, Desiree?
Hello, testing. Good evening, everyone. My name is Desiree Grace Pasulo, and before anything else, I want to thank my family, my friends, and the community for showing up tonight and for our children, along with all the volunteers. I'm a mother and a wife with a son in North and a daughter at Deaver. I also went to Deaver and North. I am the PTA co-president at James A. Deaver, vice president of communications for the Valley Stream Council of PTAs, a non-denominational minister, and a Reiki master focused on healing positivity, connection, and balance. But more importantly than any title, I am someone who genuinely loves people. I am here tonight not as someone pretending to have every answer, but as a mother, a lifelong member of this community. As a minister, I don't see labels, I don't see political parties, I don't separate people by religion, background, status, or opinion. To me, everyone is my brother and sister, whether they like me or not. I love people because I believe connection is one of the most powerful things we can give to each other. As a Reiki master, I've spent years understanding energy, positivity, balance, connection, and healing. Children today are growing up during one of the most emotional, sensitive times in history. Academics matter deeply, but so does confidence, so does emotional wellness and loving yourself. Schools have evolved academically, but now it's time to evolve emotionally too. I want our district to continue growing not only in education, but in communication, connection, mindfulness, positivity, and support. Because when children feel heard, seen, connected, and loved, they grow. I may not have the traditional experience that some candidates have, but what I do bring is compassion, intuition, creativity, communication, time, dedication, and a genuine connection to this community. I know how to bring people together. I know children absorb the energy around them, and I want our schools to feel like a place where positivity is stronger than fear, connection is stronger than division. Thank you.
Okay, Cecil?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight, and to everyone watching online, also to the candidates here at this moment. First, I want to thank our inter-school PTA, incredible teachers, administrators, and support staff, and thanks to the current Board of Ed members for your service. I believe the strength of District 13 is not just in our programs or our buildings, but it's in the people who show up every day to invest in our students and help them thrive. My name is Cecil Matthew, and for more than 18 years, my wife Sharon and I have proudly called this community home. We're raising our 3 daughters right here in District 13, at Willow and at North, and we've experienced firsthand what makes this district so special. I believe my professional and community service experience leading and serving on boards, managing budgets, implementing vision and policies, gives me the experience to serve the Board of Education at this time. Listen, almost a year ago, we encouraged our daughters after an election that came down to just 9 votes. That moment stayed with me and us, not because of the outcome, but because of what it taught us. It reminded us that when something truly matters, you don't walk away from it, you keep showing up. Resiliency matters as much as results. And what last year revealed was powerful. It showed how deeply this community cares about our schools, our students, and our future. It showed that many people believe we can continue building something even stronger together. That's why I'm stepping forward again, not because of what happened last year, but because of what I believe is possible ahead. I believe our students deserve the very best, our teachers deserve support, parents deserve to be heard, and our community deserves leadership that listens, builds bridges, and stays focused on what matters most, who are our children. My vision and purpose is clear. You may have seen this all around and heard about this. It's 4 amazing schools, 1 strong district. Let me say that one more time. 4 amazing schools and 1 strong district. Together we can continue creating a safe, positive, innovative learning environment where every child is equipped not only academically, but also with confidence, character, and real-life skills needed for the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Martin?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Martin Charles. I'd like to thank the moderator and for everyone that came here this afternoon. This is a good display of how community members are paying attention to what's happening in the community. I'm running for school board trustee in Valley Stream, District 13. I'm a parent, a husband, a father. My wife and I have lived in Valley Stream for over 15 years. We chose you. We looked at many communities around here. We looked at the school district, and we decided to come to Valley Stream. It's a beautiful town. We see that the people here work together. We saw the schools working in unity. We saw how the elementary schools have fostered our kids. Both of my boys are in Central right now, principal's list, high on a roll. We're so grateful to this community. Me personally, I want to give back to the community. I want to bring the skills that I have to the community. I want to work on this board to safeguard the future for other parents and other kids that may be going through the school system so that they can benefit from the things that my family has benefited from in Valley Stream, District 13 in particular. I want to say that I'm running on the notion that honor, responsibility, and accountability are the pivotal points in my run for office here. I think that the board, the district, should be held accountable for anything and our finances and for the well-being of our kids. And as a parent, over the years, I've seen things go in different directions from time to time. And I think that I can lend my skills to this. And as a short background into myself, I come from a law enforcement background. I've served 16 years as a police officer and a real estate career that spanned over 13 years. So I hope that these skills, my attention to detail, will come in very useful on the school board here in Valley Stream. And again, I thank you for this time and for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you. Okay, now that we've heard from all of the candidates, and I'm not sure if I said this before, but you do know that all 4 are running for 1 open seat. So you will be choosing from amongst these 4 for 1 seat. Okay? And that will be very obvious when you go to vote. We're going to start the first question with Desiree, and whoever wrote this question, I appreciate getting off to a lighthearted start. It relaxes everybody. So the question is, are you able to name the mascots of the 4 schools in Valley Stream 13's district? Now, obviously, once one person does it, it'll be easier, but let's see.
Well, I know Deaver is the Dolphin. I know North is Spartan, and I don't.
Wheeler Avenue Blue Jays, Willow Wildcats, because we go there.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of question where I'm not going to hold them because the answer should not take a minute and a half. But at this point, if you know an answer, call it out. Because I don't even know the names of all the schools, so.
Howell Owls. Howell Road Owls? That rhymes. These all rhyme.
Did we get them all?
I don't know.
Yes, okay, I appreciate that. Because obviously there's no, there is a concrete answer to this question, but I don't know it. Moving on to question number 2, which we will start with Cecil. You will answer first. If you guys could just turn off your microphones unless you're the one answering, just so we don't get feedback. Okay, this is a more serious question. What do you believe is the greatest asset schools can provide a child?
First, it's opportunity and equity, where what they need is provided for them. Everyone should have that equal opportunity, but every child is different. I have 3 girls, and they have equal opportunity in my home, but I have to raise and handle each of them differently, even in my own home. They have different skill sets, different abilities, different responsibilities in our own home. So just using that principle, I think even in our education system, everyone should have the same opportunity. For example, someone earlier mentioned about Chromebooks. I think every child should have every technology available to them, but let's just say one student does not have access to the internet at home. What's the point of the Chromebook going home? We should also think about providing hotspots to them so that they can have access to use those devices that we send home with them. So it's also about everyone having opportunity and access, but also thinking about each case, what do they need to have the best outcomes for their life, for their education, and for their future.
Okay, thank you. Martin?
Yes, thank you. The best asset a school can provide. A school should be a place where a child should feel safe. They should feel loved. They should feel protected so that they can learn, so that they know the community is there for them as a safety net to pick them up when they fall, to encourage them when they do well. That's what I think a school should be offering as its greatest asset.
Okay, thank you. Anthony?
I think the greatest asset a school can do for our students is to give them the belief in themselves and primary, that they can do critical thinking, that they can think from within themselves, and to have a thirst for learning and learn how to learn. But the biggest thing is to have a self-belief in themselves and to actually learn how to think. And that'll serve them for their whole entire life, as well as their family as well.
Okay, Desiree?
I think the greatest asset is them learning how to read and write, history, music, art, see what they're interested in. And then you have the kindness, the love, the protection, our amazing security guards, teaches them confidence. I think the teachers, the principal, the superintendent, the Board of Ed, I think everything together is just an amazing family.
Okay, thank you. All right, next question, which is question number 3. How will you improve communication between the district and families? And Martin, you go first for this one.
I think the district needs to develop a better strategy of how to communicate with the families. They can use social media. They can also send out a newsletter. The district needs to have and create an easy flow of information between them and members of the community. For a long time, the community suffers from not knowing. We rely a lot on innuendo and rumors. This isn't helpful. So whether they need to create a page where they can send a newsletter to us, a Facebook account, or even if they need to send an email out to all of us, this isn't something that's very hard to do. We get it a lot through junk mail. So this is something that I think the district should step up and adopt as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Okay, Anthony?
Unfortunately, LaRocca last year thought there was a need to hire an assistant principal, and now she's seeking for another assistant principal, which the district has never had. It's an elementary school. It's not like we were in high school where I can see an assistant principal is needed. But now that she's adding all of this additional staff since she's become superintendent about 5 years ago, I believe that they have enough resources to provide at least an hour, perhaps 2 hours, 1 hour on Monday and an hour on Friday, where one of the superintendents makes themselves available for a chat discussion or actually a Zoom with any parent that has an issue that would like to have a topic covered. And all the other parents in the school district can share in that Zoom. And that would be announced on Parent Square. Parent Square would announce that, oh, the topic for this coming week would be perhaps the Chromebooks. And then any of the parents who wish to chime in on that issue, they would be able to attend that Zoom meeting. And I think that'd be very beneficial for communications. Again, creating a Zoom meeting scheduled twice a week, perhaps on a Monday and on a Friday, between the hours of, say, 3 and 4 after school. And I think that's a doable thing if our goal is to enhance communications between families and the administration.
Okay, thank you. Desiree?
I agree with
Open your microphone, hon.
I agree with Martin. I think Facebook. I think that maybe we could make 1-minute clips of what we're doing, like every month. Make it maybe a friendly meet and greet at a coffee place. Make it more of a friendly environment and fun. And I'm a social media, so I like to make 1-minute TikToks, and everybody knows my life in 1 minute for the week, so I would probably do the same.
Okay, and Cecil?
Going through this process for the past couple of years now, you've learned a lot, and you continue to learn. The audience here tonight in the building is a lot more than it was last year, so that's good. If you come to see the attendance in board meetings, it's probably light. Unless there's something controversial, it gets packed. Unless it's something important to the families, it gets packed. I think the opportunities are already there. I don't know if we have to recreate the wheel. We also have to understand this is not a Valley Stream entity. This is a state mandated responsibility and trust that is established between the community and the Board of Education of the schools. So I believe we have to first off take advantage of what's already there. And if we're not maximizing it, maximize it from the district perspective, but also from the community and the family perspective. I know I'm not a board member, but in running for this for the past 2 years, I've had conversations with security guards on the blacktop. Hey, what's going on? What do you need? What could we do if I had the chance? You could talk to parents on the blacktop. You could talk to people on Facebook. I've talked to PTA members on Facebook from different schools, not Willow, other school PTAs I've talked on Facebook. Communication opportunities are there. We got to just take advantage of what we have. And if there's something to build and create and make better, let's explore that together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I think you went already, right? Okay. I'm trying to keep track here. It's like a spreadsheet. Anyway, question number 4, and Anthony, you'll go first on this one. Would you support reviewing transportation contracts or operational models to improve service? And this might be a tough one because you guys are not on the school board currently.
Kind of close. Can you read that one more time?
Absolutely. Would you support reviewing transportation contracts or operational models to improve service? So transportation being the bus system and how it operates. Are you open to reviewing those contracts and systems?
Okay, thank you. My time starts now, right?
Your time starts when you start talking.
Okay, I just want to assure the audience that I did not ask this question. When I was on the board, I actually evaluated line items on the budget, and I identified that we actually spend $5.1 million, I'm sorry, at the time we were spending $4 million on transportation. And believe it or not, your high school central spends $9 million. We're knocking on the door $10 million for transportation at the high school. But I had made a proposal to actually save us $3 million a year if we had our own bus fleet and operated that bus fleet. 2/3 of school districts on Long Island, that's 124 school districts, have already gone to private ownership and operation of buses. That money, we could have, if we embraced my proposal from 2-3 years ago, we would have been able to pay for the cost of that bus fleet and hired several teachers. Instead of having one teacher for the gifted and talented, we could have had one teacher for each of the schools. We can also finance co-teachers. We are never going to be as good as Syosset and Roslyn and Jericho if we don't have more faith in teaching with teachers as opposed to laptops. There's a 20-point difference between the competency of our children and schools like Jericho, Syosset, and I'm basing this on last Newsday's report card of 24-2025. But I am totally for us providing our own buses. And I submitted a proposal. You can go to my website. I have my proposal that I gave to the board and to the superintendent, and they have failed the teachers, they have failed the parents and the residents of District 13. And I go into great detail, and I'll publish a video this Friday, and I will tell you that you have been deceived. And it's, I believe it's not just this issue, there's several issues, that it's a systemic problem between the BOE and the superintendent, that they have made statements to the public that are not true. And I'll leave it at there. You can visit my website. I'll have details on several situations that occurred. Thank you.
Thank you. Desiree?
I like the idea of our own bus company, but I do know that we have a situation in the beginning of the years with the kids, if they have siblings, they can't go on the bus together, and there's a lot of confusion with that. I don't have that problem, but I do hear parents, so I think we need to focus on fixing that issue. That's as much as I know about buses.
Okay, that's valid.
I believe the question was, should we continue to review policies and contracts for better operational?
Yeah, do you support reviewing the transportation contracts and or operational models to improve
Absolutely.
service?
Yes, I think that should be done whenever the contracts come up. We should be proactive. Don't wait till the last minute so that our backs up against the wall as a district. Then the vendors could take advantage of us where we have to make a decision which we did not want to. With my experience serving in the community, leading and serving on different boards, but also managing budgets, you have to also continue to vet these contracts and vendors. You know, one of the candidates mentioned about their proposal for buses. My question would be, is that the candidate's proposal or is that a proposal brought by independent sources, because we would have to have multiple proposals regardless of transportation, HVAC, whatever it is for buildings or even teaching services. We need to have, I require at least 3 proposals to review. One's going to be on the high end from my experience. One's going to be really low figure and like, what's going on here? Are we really getting what we're paying for? Then somewhere in the middle is that sweet spot where you usually find out this is who we want to go with, or this is the vendor we want to work with. So we have to continue to look at that, review that, and not just contracts, but also policies and procedures. It's good to have it written down in books and manuals, but if it's not being enforced, just thinking about teachers, when you talk to them, they just want things that are written already in policy enforced. And we need everyone to work together, administration, district, everyone together, families to work together to enforce the policies that are already there. And if we need to review it and make it better, bring it up to the 21st century, we need to do that as well.
Okay, thank you, Martin.
Thank you for that question. I would be in favor of reviews. I'd like to piggyback off of Anthony's idea. I think that there's a problem with some of the buses. I have experienced it where there are only 2 or 3 kids on a very large bus moving from Central to the Gifted and Talented school out in Willow. Some of these issues can be dealt with by negotiating with some of the vendors and using small vehicles when necessary so that we can lower some of those costs, and the larger vehicles when necessary, if that's part of the negotiating strategy of the district. So some of the ideas that I would bring to the board, and everyone here on the panel has great ideas, I think that's something that we all need. And the question that came from the public is important because there's someone out in the audience who's observed these issues with our busing our kids. And we need to tap into these people who may have the answers for these questions. And we gotta be responsible enough and humble enough to listen to the community and use their ideas, especially if it's gonna help us with our fiscal budget. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is ex parte. I would advise all of you to do a little research about the issue with electric buses and what's being done, because there is currently a law that requires going forward, starting I believe in 2027, that school districts are supposed to purchase electronic buses. There are issues with that. And then by some point, maybe 2035, they're supposed to be completely electric. But there are proposals to possibly defer that longer because of the cost of the buses and some auxiliary issues. But that is something I would highly recommend as board members you become well versed in, and as consumers and voters you become well versed in what this issue is, and check it out. Just all you have to do is Google New York electric buses for schools. It'll come up with a million things.
Well, I don't understand the justification for you to elaborate on that law.
Oh no, that part I'm not asked. I don't expect you to know. That is just for future reference. Whoever gets on the board will have to learn about that issue. That's a warning. This is something that you would not really be aware of. It's an issue that I've been lobbying about for a long time. So, here's a question that might be a little bit more relatable. What are your thoughts about special education, and how do you envision advocating to make the schools more inclusive? And I'm sorry, this is question number 5, so, wait, who goes first? Desiree, you go first, sorry.
Could you repeat the question?
Absolutely. And I paraphrased it, so now I'm going to make a mistake. What are your thoughts about special education, and how do you envision how you will advocate to make the schools more inclusive?
Well, I'm very passionate on this, Because I've been at Deaver and I've witnessed special education children and the teachers and the aides, and we definitely need to focus more on them, maybe give them a room that they can express themselves better. I do know that teachers and aides are being like bitten, and I don't think they have that much experience. So we definitely need to have more aid on that. I definitely would love to talk to all the teachers and the parents and come up with something that would be better for them. I think they all have a quality that we have to discover, just like all the children here. But they are special because they really do have something, whether it's art, music. I hear stories that a kid will pick up a piano and just start playing. So I think we need to really focus on what their talent is. I would also maybe build a room for them and everybody. I worked in a wellness center where they had a energy enhancement where it would restore your DNA. And I know that there's grants out there that maybe we can look into it. And I've seen that it's helped children. So I would love to just, cooperate, like talk to everybody about it. And I would, because that's something I'm passionate about.
Okay, thank you. Cecil?
I think the question is very generic, and I appreciate the question. I believe the district has made immense strides, and it looks like if you examine the budget for this coming academic year, they are continuing to invest in this area. They're trying to add a teacher and aide, at least to one school, I believe. I know at our local school at Willow, there is a good number of students that are getting the attention that they need. Could it be better? Probably, but we have to evaluate all the schools and what the population requires. The population in one school may not be as high as it is in another school, and we have to reallocate resources. We have to do it, but also research and explore new innovative ways to teach and meet the needs of the special needs students beyond the textbook, beyond the curriculum. Like Desiree mentioned, if there are arts and gifted and talented programs, I have some experience with some special needs students in our local community and our congregation, and you have to serve them differently, and you have to look at it because there's an opportunity there, potential there. It just may be different than what the next student has. So just evaluate and do the best for each student and get the individualized education that they need that's relevant to them and applicable to them as well.
Okay, thank you. Martin?
Thank you for the question. I believe that kids with special needs definitely need support in school. I believe that they should be part of the general population. From time to time, we need to hire teachers who are specialists in this area and to give these children the total school experience that all of the other kids are having. I think we already have ramps and all the physical things to take care of some of these kids, but they need to feel that love. They need to feel a part of that community, and that's something that we need to work on in Valley Stream. So we need to hire the professionals who can help us facilitate those needs. And if I am on the board, this is something that I would definitely look into as a personal project to make sure that these children feel welcomed here. As well, we need to focus on the psychological side of things. And if we need to bring in the specialists, I remember back in Wheeler, you had Miss Dr. Leith. More individuals like that need to be in our schools so that they can help our kids emotionally and to support them through their school experience. If we could get that done, they will become a productive member in our society and all the kids as a whole. Thank you.
Okay, Anthony? Sure. What are your thoughts about special ed, and how do you envision how you will be able to advocate to make it more inclusive in the school?
With the onslaught of the screens that children are exposed to, not only in class but on their phones, there's been a connection between the screen usage and the increase in mental health issues. And this is coming from the experts. They're saying we have a great increase in mental health problems. And there's a connection between the internet and these social media platforms. And that's another reason why I'm strongly for reversing course in our schools with promoting these Chromebooks. I am not saying that the Chromebooks don't provide a benefit. They do for testing. Chromebooks are good for testing. Parents have gone through COVID, and we know that's a disaster. You cannot replace a teacher. With the mental health issues have been increasing year after year, and I think we need more speech therapists, occupational therapists, even more psychologists. The complaints that I've heard from parents of special education needs children is that they're being denied further resources. I think that's a problem. I'm wondering really what's going on. Why are we not funding more resources to our special needs families? I believe we have over 260 special ed students. But that's something that definitely needs more attention. As well as the other side of the scale, the gifted and talented. We need to expand the gifted and talented. I believe this year's budget is only providing $120,000 for the gifted and talented, which mostly is just one teacher. Why do we have only, and you have to go to Willow. Why doesn't each school have a gifted and talented teacher? There's so much that we need to do, and we need to be investing in teachers, which is actually directly investing in our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving through these questions very quickly. So thank you to everybody. Question number 6, and we'll start with Cecil, will be the first one. This is a bit long because it's some exposition. Student lateness to first period at the Valley Stream Central High School District, if I'm correctly interpreting the abbreviation, which, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are an elementary school district?
But our trustees go to the Central High School as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. So first period lateness has become significantly worse this year, and apparently the concern is that the building leaders are not enforcing any consequences to first period lateness. And this creates a downward spiral. How would you help to fix this issue? And I would even broaden this to just fix the issue of chronic lateness.
My parents would tell me to get up earlier. So I don't know if it's easy as that. I don't know if it's a busing situation. I don't know if it's a zoning situation. I don't know if they're supposed to go to those schools or by address. Are they, zoned to go to those schools? And I don't know, as an elementary school district board trustee, I don't believe I'll be going to the high school board, or any of us will, but we have to focus on the school district here, District 13, and let the high school district handle those situations, and whoever the trustees are lucky enough to go to the high school district, we'll give you that question to answer. But I would say first, evaluate, is it a transportation issue, is it a location issue, would be the top 2 things that come to mind here, and dig deeper into that and research that a little bit more.
Okay, Martin.
Could you clarify the question specific to the high school? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Student lateness. There are many factors that can contribute to this, and most of it starts in the home. We need to find out why this child is coming late. Maybe he's walking to school from the distance is pretty long, and he's not planning, or she's not planning ahead. So these are things that you the school or the principals in the school could have a chat with the parent about this situation. I think if the parents understand the importance of getting to school and teaching the child how to be on time and the impression that that leaves with his job or career, his family or her family in the future, they would pay more attention and put more effort into this enterprise. It's a communication thing. And if we could find out if there are factors that are at play here that's causing this child to arrive late at school, maybe we can deal with it. It's not general, it's usually a case-by-case situation. And if we address it like that and make it a pivotal issue that we can assign someone to deal with this lateness in the classroom or at school, especially in the high school district, I don't think it's a problem that we can't solve. It's just a matter of communication. Let's find out what the problem is and come up with solutions that the parent can implement. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I lost track. Who's Anthony?
Just so we all have a good understanding of how that works as far as the school board goes for the high school. The high school is made up of 9 trustees. The 3 elementary school districts, 13, 24, and 30, get to send 3 trustees to the high school board. If trustees at 13, 24, and 30 want to serve on that board, the president would appoint them. As far as the tardiness, okay, so this could bleed into a bigger problem, a behavioral problem, which seems to is expected to be resolved by teachers. If there's a behavioral problem, which to me appears to be related to lateness and tardiness, that needs to be addressed by the parents. Now, the parents are being pulled many directions. It's very difficult these days to raise children than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So it comes down to who at the school level should be involved. I don't think the teachers should be spending their time pursuing the causes. I think the administration should be picking up the ball on that. The administration should be finding out what needs to be done to help the parents, to help the student to arrive on time. But we should not be having the teachers adopt the role of a behaviorist. The teacher should note that the child is late or absent and gets reported to administration. It's the administration that should be, by policy, pick up the ball from there forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Desiree?
Well, I would like to find out why they're late. If there's the same children late over and over again, there could be a problem at home. I mean, maybe the parent's drunk, maybe they're on drugs, you know, maybe we need to find out why. And then I think if the kid has maybe more than 3 lates, they should write an essay on why they were late. Maybe parents and kids could meet once a month at a meeting and discuss discipline. I think there's creative ways that we can help with latenesses, and why maybe they can get rewarded once they stop being late. I think something fun and creative we can come up with. That's what I would do.
Okay, thank you. All right, this next question is probably a little bit more in your elementary school wheelhouse. Do you believe foreign language programs should be available in elementary school rather than beginning later? And who goes first? Martin, you go first.
Off the bat, I would say definitely. Kids learn language or languages far easier than adults. The earlier they're exposed to different languages, foreign languages, they pick it up right away. If it's in the budget, we can afford it, yes, do it. It helps them to understand, process, deal with issues a lot sooner. They're far more capable. When you meet a child who can speak 2 or 3 languages, you off the bat, you know this kid is smarter than everybody else. So if it's available, we can do it. I say to it. Thank you.
Okay. Anthony?
Actually, at one time, the elementary schools did offer foreign languages, and I think it's a good idea. But we shouldn't go too far in before we get the basics of reading and mathematics, and believe it or not, writing. The biggest problem that parents are discovering is that their children are falling behind in writing skills. We need to have a writing program enhanced here at this school district. But languages are definitely a positive. I think it's definitely an advantageous idea, a program that I would support, but I would keep it balanced, I would moderate it. You have to prioritize these things, and it would not supersede the importance of the basics, mathematics, reading, writing. Yeah, it's a good idea, and again, when I went to elementary at Wheeler, we did have a language, and I used to know her name. I can't remember it. I had French, but in any event, thank you.
Okay, Desiree?
I think before they do a language, that they should learn script, because I was told that that's taken out of the schools, and I don't understand how they can sign their names if they're not learning script. So I would do that first.
Okay, thank you. Cecil?
Since we're an elementary school district and we have kids from kindergarten through 6th grade, I have a 4th grader. English is her only language and her primary language, and she still has trouble spelling, understanding sentences. I think right now in this stage of their life, we may need to expand E and L in elementary schools because of the diversity in our community. That's something we should look into, but I think for my 4th grade daughter at Willow, I'm still helping her read her homework assignments and help her understand and helping her with spelling. So I'm trying to get English down first. I'm just being real as a parent here. As a board member, we could discuss something, but as a parent, I'm trying to get her to understand what she's reading and how to write sentences and grow in the primary language that she only knows as English. But I think we should look into, with the diversity that is growing in our schools, look into maybe expanding E and L at elementary versus waiting till high school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. How will you balance representing vocal parents, who are clearly a minority, while also serving the families who don't show up to the meetings and speak up? So basically, how do you find that balance between the very vocal minority and the very quiet majority? These are things people want to know. And, I will tell you, we see it all the time. Squeaky wheel gets the oil, but that's not necessarily fair. So I guess the better way to phrase this question might be, how will you reach the parents who are not being heard right now? Does that make more sense? And Anthony, you are first.
Oh, okay. Drill, drill, drill. We need more oil. I think, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's far more difficult these years to be a parent than it was a decade, 2 decades ago. A lot of this is brought upon because of the internet. The children go in their room and they're on the screen, and the parents say, you need to do this by a certain time in your homework, and there's that constant tug of war of what the child wants and what the parents require them to do. Same thing at school. As far as I guess the majority of parents that don't make the meetings, because they have a busy schedule. These meetings are held during the week, unfortunately. But I don't blame the board because, you know, they're all working hard as well and they're volunteering their time. So I do appreciate all the volunteers, all the trustees that volunteer their time. What can we do to help the majority of the parents that don't, you know, ask for help? We could perhaps do a parent square and have the superintendent emphasize the importance of them speaking up if there's any issues. And the superintendent can say, listen, we're going to be addressing this issue because we're getting a lot of call out for it from these few families. And we are going to address those needs. You know, the superintendent can say, well, I'm curious, what about all these other families that I'm not hearing from? Perhaps give me some feedback. Let me know, are there any issues that you are afraid to come forward to ask? And maybe that's what they can do. Or perhaps create an anonymous channel so the parents don't feel that they're going to be retaliated against, where the sender of the question or the theme or the topic can do this anonymously. Because some parents are afraid of retaliation, believe it or not. Thank you.
Desiree?
Well, we have this situation a lot where I'm part of the PTA and there's a lot of parents that don't know what's going on. So we have group texts, multiple group texts that have hundreds of text messages, and we're up all night answering. So, I mean, they have to somehow help us communicate and answer for them. Maybe we could send home flyers, give them a survey, whatever situation that they can express.
Okay, Cecil?
Could you just repeat the question as it was written?
Sure. How do you reach parents who are not the vocal ones, the majority of parents who are not expressing their opinions? How do you reach them to find out what they're thinking? And I'm sorry I keep paraphrasing this, but I think the intent is still the same.
I think maximizing the channels that are already there. I keep saying it because, you know, someone mentioned these board members are volunteer, PTA leaders are volunteer. I don't know how much more we could ask them to do. At the same time, if there are new methods that we need to implement, we need to do it. The other aspect maybe we have to consider is those parents that we're not hearing from, maybe they don't want to share anything. Maybe they don't want to speak. Maybe they just put their heads down and just say, hey kids, go to school, do your work, respect your teachers, respect your classmates, be responsible, be people of good character, and come home and be a good neighbor and good citizen. So maybe everyone does not want to be reached or engaged because they're just focused on what they're there for. But if they are silent because they're out of fear, then we need to break down, and we can't allow for that to grow or fester in our community, in our schools, or in our district overall. So I would say maybe some don't want to be engaged, maybe some do and they're afraid, and we have to make sure that we address those fears and create those safe spaces and environments and channels for them to share their thoughts. Someone used the word retaliation. I don't know if we need to go there, but I'm sure some have had those experiences. That's why the question was asked. So we appreciate that, but those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay, Martin?
Yes. After hearing the question, these are my thoughts. Almost all schools have the contact numbers for parents. That is true, yes? Whenever your child is sick, the school can get in contact with you. I think the district, or even the school board, or the PTAs, they need to use these opportunities to reach out to the parents. I receive texts twice, sometimes 3 times a day from the Valley Stream School District. Why not use this as a conduit to communicate with the parents? It could be lighthearted, but you need to open that doorway, that channel of communication. It can't just be the PTA, because some people don't like going to PTA meetings. It's just not in them. But we have all these tools available to us, all these avenues for communication. Use them. You will find that, to piggyback on Anthony's idea, create an anonymous forum so that they can drop in their ideas, their concerns, If we create that safe space for these parents, they'll talk to you. They'll tell you what their issues are. They're going to tell you what the problems are. They may not want to be named. That's why they're silent. So if we create that space for them, and it's pretty inexpensive, everyone has it. We're all members of some chat group or another somewhere. We can do this. We got to come outside of the box a little bit. And then we'll watch things blossom and become what we want it to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The next question, we start with Desiree. What would you do to increase support for English language learners and their families? Because English language learners, the students often, their parents do not speak English either. So what would be your thoughts on that?
Maybe ChatGPT could translate for them.
Okay, don't direct it to me. I'm not voting in this election.
I guess they'd have to learn. I mean, go on YouTube and learn how to do it. I mean, I don't know how else. I'm still trying to learn English, so I mean, you know. Yeah, they'd have to, I'm sure there's an app that'll teach them.
Well, it's not how to teach them, it's how to support them is the question.
Then tell them to download an app.
Okay, thank you. Cecil?
I touched on it in my previous response to the previous question. So I think if we see the need is growing in our schools and our population in our 4 schools, I think we need to, just as much as we are addressing staffing for special needs students, we probably need to invest a part of our budget for E&L teachers at the elementary schools. At Willow, I could see it with my own eyes, the need for it. You know, some teachers have asked me to, can I translate something to them, or they're trying to find their kids to translate something to their parents or guardians. So I think we need to invest as much as we're investing in all the other areas, gifted, talented, curriculum, special needs. Don't wait till high school. If we could address it earlier on, the need will be less in high school, and they will be stronger as students, knowing the English language at an earlier stage.
Okay, Martin?
Could you repeat the question and the context, if possible?
Sure. What would you do to increase support for English language learners and their families?
Okay. So we already have programs in place at the schools for the kids who are learning English for the first time. I believe that program is out there at North. In addition to this, if we have folks that we know that are on hand who are translators, like, you know, many businesses, even in my business, in the real estate area, I need to have folks who know Spanish, Chinese, different languages. I have their phone numbers, I have their contacts. We need to have teachers, and I'm sure there are teachers who speak foreign languages on staff in Valley Stream already, and members of the community who are willing to lend their time to help us communicate with those parents. If we have them on a Rolodex, we have those names, the languages that they speak, what they can communicate with the various parents. We can use that as a tool to communicate with those foreign language speakers. This is not rocket science. So if we could just think outside of the box for a minute and use the tools that are in our community, we can solve these problems easily. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony?
You're referring to the E&L, right?
Yes, English language learners or English as a second language.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure if everyone is aware in the community. Currently, and for a couple of years now, if not longer, the high school buses the students from South High School and from Central High School to North for the E&L class. That sounds crazy? That's what they do. They bus our students from South High School, from Central High School to North so they can take E&L. Why is E&L not being offered at South and Central high schools? Why are we paying these private bus vendors all this money to have the children bused to another school zone, to North? It makes no sense. In fact, when the child is on the bus, aren't they not learning? They're not learning during that trip, that wasted trip to North. It's an extreme loss of money. As I mentioned earlier, the high school spends close to $10 million on transportation. In fact, last year, the assistant superintendent for Central High School stated that their bus fleet of 5 buses was highly successful. That's correct. They already have evidence that a bus fleet of our own will save us money, which will enable us to hire more teachers. That's how we're going to get our children as good as Jericho students or Syosset students. E&L classes are very important, and they should be provided locally. Again, it's confounding that we actually transport our children from South High School and Central High School to North High School to attend E&L.
Okay, thank
Moderator,
you.
could I ask a question of clarity?
I'm sorry.
Could I ask a question for clarity?
Yeah.
Was that question for the high school district or for District 13 and
It was
elementary?
just a general question.
Okay.
So it could apply to elementary schools, which would be you guys.
You become the high school board. Please, if
Okay.
you guys make sure the community has to understand that. Because you're confusing a lot of people.
Okay.
People in our neighborhood don't realize that you guys become the high school board.
That's correct.
Okay, we did say that. I'm going to have to ask you to please hold the comments. You can discuss this afterwards.
They're recording it. They're confusing people in our community. I talk to people. They don't realize that the elementary school board is the high school board.
Okay, it was said, and I need you to either please stop, or I will have to stop this event right now. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. That is not up for discussion right now. Okay, we are going on to our last question before closing comments. And this is not going to be an easy one. One of the priorities of a school board is setting the budget for the school district, regardless of whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, combined, whatever. That is a major, major function of a school board. And balancing a school budget, creating a school budget, requires balancing a lot of different priorities. There are diverse needs between students, administration, teachers, facilities, insurance, capital, all kinds of things. And every program obviously has a cost. Sports have a cost. Every extracurricular has a cost. So we're talking massive numbers of things that need to be prioritized. And yes, I'm adding to this. What would be your priorities in terms of setting the budget? So what would be the things you would want to focus on? And we will be starting with Cecil.
The key areas that obviously we are a Board of Education has to be focused on the curriculum, innovative teaching methods and environments, a safe space for all students, a modern space for all students with all of the technology that's available to us. At the same time, investing in the right staff, not unnecessary staff or staff that is, when you see budgets for staff increase not at the same rate, while programs are being cut, that raises questions in the community for parents and taxpayers. So we have to be mindful of where are we spending the money? Why are we adding more administrative staff? If there's need for it, I understand in the elementary schools, there's a growing population and there's additional help that's required for principals. If we need to invest in an assistant principal, that will help them. And I think the goal for an assistant principal is to address one of the needs that's constantly been raised tonight and in previous conversations is communication. Communication, building the bridge between the schools, the district. The schools are a representation of the district. When you see a principal, you see the district. When you see an administrator, you see the district. And you have to, if we have to invest in those key staff, we need to. I believe in that. At the same time, if the staff part of the budget, personnel budget is ballooning to a rate where it's at the cost of music programs or sports programs at different schools, whether it be at the elementary or the high school level, that's something that we need to reevaluate and put things in the proper order. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
This is a good question. I'll piggyback on Cecil. All the things that he said we need. We also got to look at the things that we can save money on. Retention of personnel, litigation. We've heard in recent times of a lot of teachers and school administrators who have taken the district to court, and the different districts, having forced to settle some of these matters. We need to look back at some of these cases, some of these issues, and see where we have gone wrong, and we may have cost ourselves money. Transportation, the question that came earlier, very good. If we can find savings in these avenues and to save the taxpayers, because ultimately the folks sitting in front of us, they're paying for all of our misgivings, all of the mistakes that the board makes, all of the mistakes that the district makes. So we got to take all these things into consideration when we're coming up with the budget. It's not just numbers and okay, we got to raise the taxes. We got to look at where we can save these residents money. I'm going to retire in Valley Stream. My kids are going to be finished with the school district. And what happens then? I'm still paying the taxes. Every time they have a problem, I have to foot the bill at the end of the year or for the new budget. So the board needs to look seriously at what the cause is. What's the causes of the root cause of some of these expenses that the district has. We have a framework outlined already. We have a budget. Okay, let's go in there and see where we can cut a few things and save ourselves a few pennies so that the gentleman over there doesn't have to pay for this in the future. That's all I have to say on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony?
Within the framework of your question, it furthers the myth that the Board of Trustees creates the budget. That's a falsehood. The budget is created by the superintendent. You would think that the Board of Trustees creates the budget. Untrue. The administration creates the budget. Superintendent LaRocca would hire, not hire, but form committees. She has a nice term. I think they're called budget ambassadors. Basically cheerleaders who have been cheerleading LaRocca the past few years, and they find themselves on these committees. But the bottom line is, I was a school trustee between 2021 and 2024. The board does not create the agenda. They do not create the budget. And you know this for yourself. If you go to the videos, LaRocca presented the budget to the board to the trustees to approve or disapprove. That's evidence right there. But I was on the board. We don't create the budget. LaRocca does. Incidentally, the question has not been asked. I'm afraid it may not be asked. I'm for the budget, but unfortunately, me not being on the board, to push back, LaRocca is asking for another assistant principal. Last year, I was against the hiring of an assistant principal for the elementary schools. We've never had that. We never had a plumber. We never had a deputy treasurer. These things she's putting on the board, she's expanding the administration. But I am for the budget, but I am not for the things that she's pursuing, like an assistant principal. And unfortunately, the Board of Trustees are supposed to play oversight. It was asked about the contracts for the buses. That's what the trustees are supposed to do. They're supposed to evaluate the bus contracts along with all the other contracts. But unfortunately, our school board is more of a support of the superintendent. It's not supposed to be that way. You, the parents and the residents, are supposed to elect the trustees that you have confidence in that will fight for what you want. and then the superintendent answers to the board. That's not what's been going on for years.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are done with our questions. We actually made it through 10 questions, so quite a diverse number. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I jumped ahead, I apologize. Yes, I'm sorry, Desiree.
That's okay. I am an ambassador cheerleader for Doxa Laraca, and she does explain the budget. What I would love, a priority, is for special education and more mental awareness. I think we need like a meditation room, something that we could even welcome the community who don't have students. Maybe, you know, a relaxing room. I definitely think we all need a positive affirmation room immediately. And that's what my priority is.
Okay, thank you. Now we are done with the questions. I apologize again. It's getting close to my bedtime. Okay, for the closing statements, each candidate will have 2 minutes. And since we started this way with the opening statements, we will be starting with Martin and working our way back. So Martin, are you ready for your closing statement?
Thank you very much, Ms. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, I sit before you presenting myself as trustee for Valley Stream District 13 School Board. If you elect me, you will get honesty, fairness, accountability, attention to detail. I'm not a member of any political group or party. I'm here just for the children, just for the interest of Valley Stream. So I see everything in one color. My kids grew up here. They did well here. I want the same for your children. I think I have the skill sets to help, fresh ideas, the willingness for change, and the opportunities here, the opportunities now. It's time that we take a look at the old guard and say enough is enough. It's time that we take an overhaul of some of the expenditures in our community. I think it's time we take a hard look of how we do education here. New voices, new mindset, new opportunities for us all. 15 years ago, I chose you. 15 years later, I hope that you choose me. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Cecil?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator, and thank you to the timekeeper and to everyone that's here. I want to just take a moment to share. Our family believes in our schools. I've raised 3 daughters here, still raising 3 daughters, and they're excited every day when they go to school because of the teachers, because of the environment, because of the staff. I know it's not perfect. No school, no community, no district, no person is perfect. But I think we have an opportunity now to build on what's already happening. But there's areas that we need to work on it together. I don't think any one of us, whoever gets voted in, I don't want us to have an idea or the community to think that one person gets on the board and they're the savior to the community. I don't think any one of us will be a savior to Valley Stream District 13. When we get on that board, we have to work with the several other members that are already there or will be elected there. And we have to work together, come to collaborate and consensus. And sometimes you're gonna have to, say, hey, maybe it's not now, but it's gonna be later. You have to learn how to work together. You have to have the idea that, hey, we could fix the things that need to be fixed, strengthen the things that need to be strengthened, and make District 13 literally a place and a community that people want to come to. Other districts were cited by one of the candidates here today. I don't want us to compare ourselves to those districts, but we have to be unique and special in our own way, and we have to be attractive and attracting strong students and families to come to District 13 from the elementary school all the way through the high schools and strengthening every school in our district across this community. Last year, we took this adventure and we're still on this ride and we're hoping that the results are different. And so I'm asking to earn your trust, but also I'm asking for your vote to represent our community. And I want to also just take a moment to thank the fellow candidates for stepping up to put ourselves together in this position to serve this community. Thank you to everyone tonight.
Thank you. Desiree?
So one thing I've learned through my experiences in life, whether I'm volunteering in our schools, setting up the inflatable race, building an outdoor classroom, healing people, officiating weddings, planning funerals, scuba diving, leading deep-sea fishing trips 100 miles into the ocean, harvesting my own food, or simply speaking with kids during intergenerational reading, is that everything grows better with love, patience, and gratitude. This past week, while preparing for this election, I was also planning my grandmother Grace's funeral. She came from Brooklyn and decided to move to District 13 because she liked the schools first. Then she bought a house. She shaped my life and my roots in this community. This community surrounded us with kindness and support that reminded me exactly why I'm here tonight. I want every child to feel like their light matters, every parent to feel heard, every teacher and staff member to feel appreciated. I want to help build schools filled not only with education, but connection, positivity, confidence, and love. Schools have looked mostly the same for over decades, yet the world around us has changed completely. Technology has changed, communication has changed, the pressures children face have changed, mental health challenges have changed. Because when children feel positive, they thrive. When teachers are happy, everyone is happy. It's time we evolve with them. I want our district to continue growing not only academically, but emotionally and spiritually in the sense of human connection. I want positivity, communication, confidence building, mindfulness, and emotional awareness to become part of our culture. I stand before you tonight as a mother who would move mountains for her children and for yours. My time, my heart, and my vision are focused on every child's future. We are a community of strength, wisdom, and growth. And together, District 13's 4 schools can be the strongest team. We can unlock everyone's true potential. Let's unite that strength. And let us have a ripple effect. And also thank you for everyone up here and for volunteering your time and making a difference. I love listening to everybody. And thank you, because we're the ones that are making a difference.
Okay, thank you, Desiree. And Anthony?
Thank you, those were good. Did we all get this in the mail the past couple of days? I received this the other day, and this is from Central High School, and the second line is central administration. The percent difference from last year to this year, Superintendent Loper is asking for a 72% increase in the administration. That comes out to $375,000 boost to what he wants to add to his administration. That's about 3 teachers. There's a war going on. Before today, I went to look at the gas price. It's $4.50, and it's going to be significantly higher when the supplies of oil actually crash. Right now, it's being buffered by the billion barrels that were on the waters past the Strait of Hormuz before the war. Those supplies are dwindling, then they're expected by the experts to be gone within 4 to 5 weeks. They can't just simply turn the refineries on to supplant the loss in gas. What I'm getting at is that the experts that you don't see on regular media is going to drive gas prices past $5, close to $6. Why am I bringing that up? Because it's as if the superintendents that create these budgets think that everything is hunky-dory, and they are asking for dollars for more staff. Why they created an associate deputy superintendent at the high school for 6 figures is mind-blowing. Our children could do so much better if we had more teachers teaching the core curriculum. At the elementary school level, La Rocca is asking for a second assistant principal. We've never had assistant principals in elementary schools. What's the justification? She claimed in a public hearing that she's speaking for the will of the community. How many people actually voiced that we need an assistant principal? She's relying on what the committee of the budget ambassadors, who is she representing? Who is she pointing to that's calling for a second assistant principal? Incidentally, I called for it last year that I bet if they approved an assistant principal last year, they're gonna want one for every school. And sure enough, here we are in 2026, she's asking for a second assistant principal. There's endless issues. If you all visit my website, I have all these issues that are important to all the parents. Please visit. I'll have videos Friday, new videos Thursday and Saturday, as well as Monday.
Thank you, Anthony. Okay, I would like to point out to everybody that it takes a lot of courage, guts, to get up here and publicly take these questions, to run for office knowing that you will be presented to the public. So thank you to all of these candidates for showing their dedication to our children, regardless of whether you agree with things they said or not. They deserve a round of applause, yes. I would like to thank the candidates for attending and answering all these questions. I know it is not easy. I'd like to thank the audience for their questions and for being so respectful. My timekeeper, Viola, for her help tonight. Thank you to Jadira Woods, the council president, and everyone else involved from the schools in your district for allowing Nassau Region PTA to conduct your candidates forum. And then the last final piece, remember the vote for Valley Stream District Interschool Board of Education will take place on Tuesday, May 19th. Thank you, and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Very much. That was excellent. I know it was very difficult because you